All right, so we're live on Facebook right now. I'm seeing if I can broadcast this onto our Facebook page. Hold on a sec here. Looks like it's not going to broadcast on the Facebook page, but if you're on the Facebook group or my personal page as well, just leave us a comment and just let us know for. Looks like we're getting people are seeing us here. Awesome. Well, this is going to be recorded anyways for later viewing. Thanks for those of you guys that are joining in with both myself and Justin Melquist of the Land Trainer. Justin is the go-to guy when it comes to especially Facebook for land. He is very knowledgeable in that area and marketing. Hey guys, thanks for commenting there. So we're just gonna sort of candidly talk about what's going on right now. And this was just something I thought I just hit up Justin. I was like, "Hey, are you seeing this?" And he's seeing it. And I posted something inside the group yesterday as well. And um, so it's pretty obvious. Facebook is putting us all in another tight spot. Pretty unannounced about removing the listing views. And that's happening on your end as well, Justin.
Yeah, so essentially, just to make sure that everyone understands, so Marketplace within Facebook Marketplace, normally it shows you how many views each advertisement is getting. It was pretty cool to see yesterday how many people noticed it and I saw it on a couple different pages. Like, it's cool that people are paying attention to it. And the reason why it's a big deal is not only does it tell you how well it's performing, but it also tells you when it's not being visible to people at all. When it's frozen, when it's Facebook likes to play tricks on us. Even when it's showing, it doesn't always tell us when something's wrong.
I mean, why do you think they did something like this?
Honestly, who knows? They're always doing stuff different. I read, so they recently put out the new view, right? So the
Yep.
new Facebook view, and I read a quick article about it, and essentially what they were trying to get away from was clutter. They want it to be really simple, really clean looking, and I think that may have, even if you go, although it does in the classic view, has gone away as well. So
I feel like the design itself lends itself better to mobile devices as well. I'm sure it's a design change that'll reach a wider audience and people will be more comfortable using something more simplified and cleaner like that. And we've mentioned this many times. Facebook runs daily experiments, hourly experiments to certain audiences, certain accounts. You will never know what they're doing, and this is one of those things that they probably pulled the plug. Now there are some people who can still see listing views. I believe on mobile, right?
yeah, you could still see them on mobile, which is good. But like we were talking about before we started the recording, is it that doesn't always lend itself to the way most of us like to work.
Yeah.
Also, if you have a VA that works from their laptop, it's going to be tougher, but not impossible, right? To pull it up on mobile and see the views.
Yeah, for sure. And I noticed now this might have been because I was on mobile. I'm selling some stuff out of my garage right now, and I noticed I'm still getting view listings for those. And yeah, some people have sort of shared screenshots that they're still seeing listing views as well on their mobiles. So which is an okay thing, and we don't know if this is a permanent thing that they're going to be doing. So at this point, this is still really new to all of us. Um, we just mentioned that these listing views are really important for analytics to know if we're doing the right thing or not. What would you suggest, a land investor? What would be the general advice right now that you would say um, for all of us that are trying to list our properties on marketplace? Obviously, we won't have a concrete answer right now, but off the top of your head, Justin, can you sort of
Yeah.
come up with anything?
I guess I would just say it's kind of like most other things, right? Like Craigslist, we don't have that tool.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't have that tool where it tells us how well it's performing. Yes, it gets flagged and taken down. We can see that as well on Facebook if it's flagged and removed. So I would just say that just keep posting. That's usually the easiest answer, is continue posting. If you've been doing it for a while, you can also kind of understand the responses that you're used to getting, right? if you're used to getting 10 responses a day on that type of property in that type of area, and then you're not getting any kind of messages on that listing, there's a good indication that there's something wrong, right? And that's maybe when you can go to the mobile and check that out. That would be my advice.
There's probably a little bit extra work to sort of pay attention to see which ads are getting responses on and which isn't. But you're probably already paying attention to that anyways. But it's just easier to have a metric. I'm just wondering, there could be a way to also load up the mobile app on a desktop computer as well, if you wanted to. If somebody's interested, I can dig around to see if there's something that can load that up, so you can use that. I don't know, again, if that's possible. I'm sure there's a workaround for that, to be able to load the mobile device on a desktop so you can check. But this is sort of going above and beyond, and it is a major change, but I don't think it's a change that everybody should totally freak out about or anything like that. But this is a change, and sort of what we went through with Craigslist. Was it last year, mid last year, where our ads are all getting flagged, and Craigslist is pretty much really difficult now to do your marketing on. But in terms of advice, I'm thinking is make sure you're somehow capturing those leads immediately. Like, this should be more reason for those of you guys that aren't capturing and building a buyer's list. This is super important to be able to have that list to market towards, because we're really at the mercy of whatever Facebook wants to dictate, right, Justin?
For sure. And in the spirit of not keeping secrets, I will say that myself, as well as other folks that I've been talking to, have had some major turn in success in Craigslist in the last month or so. Maybe that's also due to all those sales that most people seem to be getting. But if you fired Craigslist like I did a long time ago, you should start posting again.
Well, there you go. Here's the gem. I didn't know that. Were you doing anything different on Craigslist?
Not at all. Not
Okay.
at all. It's definitely something's going on with Craigslist for sure.
So that's the thing. Like, we never know if something's permanent or not. Sometimes things just start working for no reason. You'll never know. It's not that there's no reason, but there is a reason behind it. Yeah. So for those of you guys that are sort of in that boat where you're sort of freaking out, like Justin said, keep posting, and monitor through your messaging. What else can you sort of tell us about Facebook, or anything that is new or changes within Facebook that you've noticed? Or
I can't say that it's new, but I have noticed that there's a seller rating available within Marketplace.
Yeah.
We started to take advantage of that, sending back and forth to friends, as well as just paying attention to it. Essentially, breaking it down in simple terms is once you get 5 reviews through a Marketplace sale on Facebook, then it starts to be visible to potential buyers. So it's just one more way to put 5 stars next to your name and get some trust going.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. And I think there is some sort of ranking that plays into this. I'm sure Facebook is collecting this for information, whether to rank your listings higher or not. I'm not sure, but it's not going to hurt for you to do that. I would assume that this will play into their algorithm of how many stars you have. So and do that in your follow-up process when you do offload a property, especially through Facebook. Put it part of your sequence where you're either putting it in as an email reminder or a Facebook message reminder to make sure that they end up rating you. Like you said, I think once you get up to 5 ratings, that rating will start displaying. So that's another key one. I think they make that very easy to do on mobile as well. And I believe you can also rate the buyer. So I don't know if there's if you can let them know there's a return in favor that you can offer them as well. I don't know if they care or not, but that is definitely an idea. So for those of you also that are interested more about Facebook, Justin's got a pretty awesome course, a part of the Land Trainer. Can you sort of brief us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the Facebook course essentially takes you from the very beginning steps of which most folks, if you're watching this, are probably well into that. How to set up a good advertisement, how to post to groups and Marketplace, and then optimizing those postings. And then what really I think has helped folks is setting up a system for yourself or a VA to show up daily and get a system for posting where to post, how much to post, tricks on not getting frozen and flagged, and just a lot of the junk that we don't want to deal with. It's kind of become a one-stop shop. Anytime something like this happens, I try to put out a lesson and keep it in one spot. You see a lot of stuff out there, but it's hard to keep track of it all, and it all kind of is presented in one package.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on today to sort of talk about it and what sort of things that we can do to mitigate this change here. And is this something that you'll be talking about in your course a little bit extensively further? And I'm assuming we need a little bit more time here to see really what the implications are.
Yeah, I think in the next week or so we'll probably add a lesson for those who've already purchased the course. And I mean, it's going to be a recap of a lot of stuff we talked about, but then, like you just said, kind of step back, give it a little bit, see if there's any, because there's a lot of smart people out there that are sharing things too. To be honest, people out there figuring this out too, and we can take those lessons on board and put it in our lesson too.
Do you also talk about Craigslist in your course?
I don't. I won't pretend to be the Craigslist pro at all. I've been the same as a lot of people, where you get frustrated and not sure. I'm not as techy, and when you start talking proxies and stuff like that,
okay. So if those of you guys are wondering about setting up proxies, it's one of the first blog posts I'd ever did with Craigslist and posting on Craigslist through multiple accounts. Craigslist is crazy in terms of banning your accounts, and even though it's a crazy basic looking site, they've got a lot of stuff happening in the background. So if you head over to reiconversion.com/blog, it is, I think, the very first blog post I've ever made about a year ago. So check that out. Once again, Justin, thanks again for sharing a little bit about Facebook and what's going on. I'll definitely have you back on here again when there's another change. And yeah, make sure you check out Justin and his course. I've heard a lot of people that are using REI Conversion have talked about the systems that you have in place and the structure that you've built for them to literally like formulas that they have to follow, and scheduling as well. And I know it's been a huge help for a lot of people. But I did have someone who mentioned it's a lot of work to get things set up, but they want to do it the right way. So I know you've got a formula to help you scale that side of your business, and Facebook has become sort of the #1 source of leads. So it's totally worth checking out. And the site is thelandtrainer.com. Is that correct?
Just landtrainer.com.
Sorry, my bad. Landtrainer.com. Okay. And if you guys have any other further questions, it was really impromptu here. Just leave it in the comments below. Hopefully myself or Justin will see it, and yeah, we'll answer it.
I'll be here in my closet waiting to hear.
All right, guys. Thanks again for joining in, and Justin, thanks for joining us as well. Cheers.
Thanks, Jessey.